Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? Robert Welkner here. In this video, I want to talk about The Mandalorian Chapter 7, which is called The Reckoning. This video will contain some spoilers. The Mandalorian is on Disney Plus's service. If you guys are brand new, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoinOpTV. So let's get started. Got my notes over here. Fun episode overall. I thought the last couple episodes were a little bit of minor filler episodes that weren't really on the track of the main storyline with Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian and that little journey. And now we got back on track as what I kind of thought we'd get. We'd kind of get like a big two-parter episode at the end of the season here to get back on track. And it's crazy times for Star Wars. I mean, we got the Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, the last movie, episode 9, entering theaters. We got the ending of The Mandalorian season 1. It's going to be weird when January comes. I'm going to be having like Star Wars withdrawals. I'm going to want to, maybe I'll start rewatching some of the animated show or something like that to fill in the time as we wait. So we get to see Grief calls Mando up on the little hologram communicator, and he says, "Hey, get your ass back to Navarro. There's some trouble. The client and his team have taken over my town, and they're making it a little difficult to me to run my business. And I'm still alive. You're still alive. Let's be honorable, man, and hug this out, shake this out, and work out a deal so that you can get what you want. You can get the client and his team off your back, and I can get my little city, my little bounty group guild back together again without their interruption." So that's kind of how things go. And we kind of get to see basically a tribute somewhat to Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai or Magnificent Seven. I was kind of watching this episode thinking to myself, maybe the Mandalorian show should have just named one of the characters Akira, just to sort of play tribute to Akira Kurosawa, the filmmaker who made Seven Samurai and a lot of the classics that George Lucas had lifted for his Star Wars saga back in the day. I think that would have been kind of interesting. So anyway, Mando gets the Razor Crest. He gets the team back together. Cara Dune, Quill is back. We met early on. IG-11, who's been reprogrammed. So now he is a servant droid giving out some tea and food to everybody. And of course, Baby Yoda's back. So they're all up on the Razor Crest to go to Navarro to figure things out and follow things through. And of course, we all know it's a trap, right? It's a trap. There's a few callbacks. The callbacks in this episode, it's a trap. And they say I got a bad feeling about this, but some of those, they were more germane to the episode. They didn't really stand out as much as like a couple episodes back where it was a little bit on the cringy side with the rookie episode. So I like the way they kind of dropped those into this episode. We get to see a lot more Force stuff going on. The Force is prominent in this episode. Baby Yoda chokes out old Cara Dune on the Razor Crest there when her and Mandalorian are arm wrestling, and he thinks that she's hurting Mandalorian, so he's protecting her. And we think Baby Yoda's a he, at least we're saying that. Could be a she. So that was kind of interesting to see that. And it's interesting also just to sort of see that nobody quite knows who Baby Yoda is, that race, and the Force is kind of still this mysterious thing that people seem to, not be privy to the knowledge. So we also get to see the Force be used. Baby Yoda heals Grief when he gets clawed up by the winged creatures they get ambushed by. Baby Yoda walks over and puts a hand on them. And who knew that midichlorians had such healing power as well? The Force, it seems unstoppable. Who knew it had all these things that it could do? I'm curious to see what else, if they're going to introduce some more Force-sensitive things that could happen there. So we do get some surprises at the end of the episode. That's where things really rev up. We get to finally meet Moff Gideon and his soldiers. It was a surprise. They seem to shoot up the cantina there where Grief and everybody is, the client and Grief are inside, and Mandalorian, they pin them down in there. And then big moment for me, and I don't know if this is a big deal or not, but I've never seen a TIE fighter's wings sort of close and collapse like they did in this. The TIE fighter comes down and lands, and they sort of close and collapse. Has this been happening in some of the video games, in some of the animated show? You guys will have to let me know in the comments below if that's just a common thing or if that was a new thing. But I was like, wow, cool, check it out. Like TIE Fighter 2.0, the little wings can kind of close and you can land on the planets pretty easily there. And also, I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad and Breaking Bad shows, so it was cool to see, Gus finally making his way. I feel like they've been teasing this character all along, and I've been waiting and waiting, like you at home are probably waiting for, Moff Gideon to show up. So I'm glad we finally got him. I figured we'd get him at the end of the season. There was some other stuff, some expectations that were subverted, as the kids say. I was surprised to see it look like the client might have been gunned down, played by Werner Herzog. We'll see how that goes. And it was interesting to see Grief's little transformation as a backstabber to kind of, okay, I need to be a little more honorable. So I'll be curious to see if Grief survives, if the guild will wind up having a little more code of honor or code of ethics or whatever the phrase would be, with Grief in charge, if he survives this or not. We'll have to see if Carl Weathers is signed on for season 2 or not. Let's see what else we got there. So great episode overall, a lot of action, a lot of story elements, a lot of character development, a lot of stuff going on here. Was well directed, well shot, well acted. It didn't really have any complaints. The timing seemed like okay. Maybe could add a few more minutes, but hey, that's what they're going to give us with the show. 40, 45 minutes or something. I guess the only complaint I really had here was that they had a recap in the beginning of the episode, and they basically showed all the characters that the Mandalorian was going to swoop on by with Razor Crest and pick up and reconnect with and recruit, to go back on this little one final mission sort of thing. And I was just like, oh, well, you kind of spoiled your own episode by having that recap. I mean, the surprise wasn't there. You're basically like, all right, IG-11, Quill, Cara Dune. They almost should have done like... a little fake out or something. I mean, I guess maybe they kind of did show the prisoners or something. Maybe that was a little bit of a fake out, but they I don't know. That was the only thing that was a little bit of a spoilery sort of like, I was a little, I was like, all right, well, but with that in mind, I still was like, all right, let's go see what's happening. Let's go make it happen. I thought it was a little silly that when he shows up Cardoon as like, MMA sort of wrestling with somebody in the little thing there to make some money. I was just like, oh, they're really like typecasting her, as a fighter in the show or something. I mean, it would have been kind of interesting to see. Maybe she was, the typical, like she was captured and, on a plank about to get like assassinated, and sure Mando comes up and has to free her or something like that. But, who knows? Who knows what's going on with the writing there, if that was an idea that they had or not. So that's it for this video. Just having some fun. Looking forward to seeing the season finale. If you guys have some comments or some things that you enjoyed or didn't like about the episode, let me know in the comments below. That's it for this video for CoinOpTV. We'll see you next time.